Do you believe that we can create our life intentionally? I strongly believe that we as a human are so powerful. And actually, I share some of my tools on my channel. But today, I also love to invite others to share their tools. So today's conversation will be with Lee. Okay, I will bring her here, and it's Lee Collver-Richards, and she's okay. I need to a creative consultant, and it will be all about creating our life, and specifically, I'd like to share you your tools and your perspective on how we create our life. So welcome, Lee. Hi.
Thank you. Hello, Savamira Hartsagova. This is so wonderful. Thank you for this opportunity to be in your presence and to talk about
Yeah,
creating life intentionally from our whole self,
yeah.
right? And we are whole. It's like we're whole in every age of our existence.
Yeah, what does that, maybe I can start in the beginning. What does that mean to you, like from our whole, um, how did you name that? Like from our
Well, okay,
wholeness, or
our
how,
wholeness, right? It's
yeah,
like okay, I taught kindergarten for many, many, many years, and and it was to me it was a joy place because children. I'm not seeing you anymore. Where'd you go? Children are.
I just wanted to let you space. Don't worry, I'm here.
I know, but if I'm looking at myself, it's like okay, I'm talking to myself.
Okay, I will
Okay,
save it. I will save it. Okay, just
yeah. This technology is really new for me, so forgive me if I flub up a bit. Creating our lives intentionally. What does that mean? It means to be aware of yourself in your space, in your creation. But before we go into the good body revival, which is why you invited me to come talk to you about how we can really allow ourselves to be the wholeness that we already are, like a child, and as the adults that we are, with our sage mind, with all the wisdom that our lives have given us through our experiences, so that we are creating consciously from that mastery of life's experiences rather than from a wounded place of victimhood. Because, trauma is real. Every one of us experiences it. I mean, look at birth, look at creation. It's an explosion of sperm and egg. I mean, it's, the miracle of life is so magnificent. And that's really what I mean by being whole and living whole. It's like experiencing yourself and life fully with all systems go, all faculties intact. And with this, sense of gratitude and wonder like a child when you
yeah.
learn something new for the first time. Having had that experience of teaching young children at a very tender age, it's such a huge transition in our human endeavors to go to school for the first time because you're taken out of that context that you really know well, your comfort zones, and you're put in the company of strangers, people you don't know. They're not your family. They have many, many cultures, languages, ways of being, ways of knowing. There's this wonderful educator from Italy in the Reggio Emilia community called Loris Malaguzzi. And he talks about how we have 100 ways of knowing, 100 ways of being, 100 ways of experiencing. And it's probably even more than 100, really. So that's what I mean by, experiencing whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're creating through that wholeness, through that multidimensional, multicultural, multifaceted way of living.
Yeah, I really like the idea like we are already whole, because there is so many like ways how to like fix yourself, because it looks like we are broken and we need constantly to heal and to improve ourselves or something. And so I really like the concept like we are whole, we are just actually, we are that we can experience anything. So how from this like place of wholeness, how we can create our life?
Intentionally.
Yeah.
Well, I've been studying a lot of different practices. When I was a very young girl, I really wanted to be a doctor. Like I had this idea that, medicine, it just expanded me because it used the language of the Greeks, the language of the Romans, even. It used these ancient languages, Amharic, Ayurvedic medicine in India, the Hindi. So there's like it to me it encompassed so much that interests me as a child. But the ways that we experience life, it didn't happen. So I ended up becoming a school teacher, and wow, there it was. you know you're still experiencing all the subjects all at once. So it's an exploring. And okay, so, and I lost my train of thought. How do we create our lives intentionally? We first have to get off autopilot.
Yeah.
To me, that's the first step. So, and the sages of the ages have been saying it forever. I mean, what is meditation? What is quieting the mind? What does that really mean? What does it mean to inhabit your body? Like to really hear your body and listen to the messages. Because the body knows. The body knows when you're in balance, and the body knows when you're out of balance. So for me, it's the first step is to get off autopilot, because our minds are entrained and programmed by belief systems that really are skewed in a lot of ways, because we make up stories based on beliefs from experiences that we had as children, really, where we didn't understand, we didn't know the choices we had, we didn't understand the power of life. We were still in the company of our parents, and there are, like our first gods, because they're so amazing. And we're seeing them behave with this power of being human, this power of creation that we have. So the first step is to get off autopilot and start to find the places in our body where we're disallowing the energy to flow.
Yeah, I love the idea that our parents were like our gods. And that's time in the childhood when we create our beliefs like, okay, this is this way because my dad were doing that this way. And I expect this is what you mean by autopilot, like, okay, things are this way because in our family it was this way, and you don't question that, and you just automatically behave some way without thinking about, oh, is there some like better way to do something?
Well, what is the choice that feels the most natural, right? Because all of us, I mean, we're so diverse in our unique way of living, this unique perspective that we all have. I mean, look at you, how many languages you already can master fully, and how that opens up so many different parts of knowing, because this is a glass, mais en français, c'est un verre. Very different, which means a window. But then again, right? It's like, and look what it does. Like, it holds water. And this is the same water that the dinosaurs tramped around and drank from, right? This whole idea that life is eternal and it keeps moving and flowing. So when I say create intentionally, to me, the first step is to recognize, okay, what am I consciously aware of? And will I allow myself to open enough to find out where I'm not conscious, where I'm on autopilot, where I'm just reacting to life, maybe in a habitual way that isn't to my advantage?
Yeah, these habitual things we are doing, and we forget to wonder about, like, wow, look at these birds. How is possible that they don't fall down from the sky? That and everything. Just stop living this habitual life. Like, okay, I do this, and it's everything is just like normal. But life is not. Life is
It's
amazing. Everything is so,
it's
yeah,
so amazing. And just think
yeah,
about like this, like the form that we are, this body, right? Wow.
yeah,
Like, wow. The hair grows, the nails grow, the skin sheds, our brain sends messages, our heart pumps and beats and never stops.
yeah.
The blood moves in the body. How does it happen? I mean, yesterday I was just having a conversation with our middle son's father. They came to visit us for a week, and it was so lovely. And he was saying, because the trees here in Hawaii are so humongous, they're just like, and they grow so you can literally see the grass growing here because that's just the way of the tropics, and things are big. And so he said, like, how does the water get up the tree? It's got so long to go. And I said, I don't know. Maybe the tree has a heart too, and it just pumps it from the roots up to the heart. Maybe it's the heart of the earth, which is, when I was a kid, I learned that it was a ball of fire in the center of the earth. Like, how do we know that? Like, so like, there's so much to explore and learn. And 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 like, I just believe that, okay, we it, when we live on autopilot, it's our traumatic patterns that are really running us, and they're traumatic patterns from our childhood. When we learn to see ourselves, maybe not in the way that we really are.
Yeah, and I believe when you were talking about like feel in our body, sometimes we are so disconnected from our body. We just don't feel anything until some pain will come, and then it's like, oh, how to get rid of that pain as soon as possible, and we don't think like, oh, I can feel something, and why is the, so
And what does that pain mean? It's like, okay, we have all kinds of beliefs about feeling too. And so there are some feelings that we allow ourselves, and then other feelings that we just refuse. And when we repress, and suppress, it's like an oppressive regime. It makes people prisoners, and that's not the way nature is. And when we disconnect from our true nature, those imbalances of mind, those imbalances of behaviors, those imbalances of what we create. And then we miss so much because we're just like in these tiny little boxes. And I can't talk to that person because they look that way. Or my mommy says that I can't wear purple because it's too bright a color. So I have to wear pale shades of orange, and I feel like I don't feel good in orange. So whatever. I mean, I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah, maybe you can share more about how we can get out of that autopilot, like what we can do, how we can do that.
Well, okay, so I've been studying all sorts of ways to get myself in tune. And I realized that I was just being in my, I was only, okay, so there's a beautiful Harvard professor named Howard Gardner. And he, like Loris Malaguzzi, who talked about how children have 100 different languages, 100 different ways of knowing, 100 different ways of expressing. And because we've been on autopilot, we think the only way in school that you express correctly is by sitting in a chair for 6 hours and listening to someone talk to you. Well, if you are a tactile, physical person who needs to move, who listens to, like when you talked about birds, like sometimes when I see a bird fly, I hear music. Like I see that dance of the bird creates a sound, it creates waves. And so there's so many different ways that a child knows. And when we lead from our strength, so my strength is not auditory. My strength is to move and to see. That's like to feel and to see. Somehow I learn better that way. So Howard Gardner talked about the multiple intelligences, right? The 100 ways of knowing. So we all have them. But if we're told the only way that you can express your intelligence is by sitting in a chair, listening to someone tell you something, and by regurgitating in the way that they expect to hear it. Well, hello and goodbye. You're in a box, you're in a prison, and you have no self-expression, and you become less than you really are. And your true nature is squelched. Your expression, your self-expression, your understanding. And so you get this very superficial idea of what life is all about. And this other thing that I've discovered from this good body revival that I've done a few times now is that it gets stuck inside the body, and the energy, because it's all energy, right? It's life. Life is energy. It's a fluid, creative motion that is constantly in movement, right? And changes continuously. The sun comes up, but it doesn't come up, but the world is turning, whatever this configuration of the planets and the stars in our solar system. So, it's moving. Everything is constantly in motion. And so there's change. So I guess the good body revival, what I've created is this 7-day, for 1 hour a day. We meet for 1 hour a day. And I've created this program where I use what I know from teaching to put you into a quieted state. so your body can fully release the frenetic energy that our nervous system and our brains create when we are in constant fight and flight. That habit of reacting to what's occurring around you because we're not fully in our bodies. We're not fully inhabiting our wholeness. The wholeness is always here. The health is always here. And it's up to us to cultivate it intentionally. That's what I mean by creating intentionally. So for these 7 days, the first day, the first hour that we meet, we just kind of go over, okay, these are all the materials I've got, take it or leave it. All you have to do is just show up for 1 hour for 7 days, and I guarantee you will transform your life. Your body will thank you for it, because it's about becoming really conscious. Like when I reach for my cup to drink my water, what prompted it? I could feel a dryness. Okay, so am I thirsty? Yes, I'm going to drink a bit of.
Yeah, this is now I realize, like, really in the school that children are so creative, and then you just have to sit still, and it's so unnatural for children, and it's like, oh, it really
If we look at
suppresses all the
nature,
creativity, and now we need to relearn that and express ourselves
well,
creatively. And
basically, what my 7 days is, okay, basically it's kindergarten for grown-ups, okay? So
I love it.
that's all it is, all right? And you may not remember school as a fun place, but I
Yeah.
guarantee you life is our school. I guarantee you life is our school. That I can guarantee. Life is our school, and she is the best teacher. He is the best teacher. They are the best teacher, whatever your pronouns, okay?
Yeah.
And it's really just you getting in relationship with this life force, this beautiful gift we've been given to be human and be alive. What an honor.
Yeah, you know what? You could share, like, day by day. You were talking about 7 days. So probably this could be used like a method. People can do that even like from time to time when they need to revive. But now you are offering that like a 7 days
Okay,
event. But
so
please share, like, what's the point of that? What's the method? Why does that work? Or just please share more about what
well,
are we going
okay,
to
so
do and
the
why?
7 days. So the first day I just go over the materials, and then we meet for an hour, and I've asked some really extraordinary healers, teachers, scientists. They're coming, and they're gonna teach you. So the first session we go over all the materials, and basically, like you said, they will own it all. So they can redo the 7 days on their own, or if they can just redo, oh, you know what? My physical body, something feels out of balance. I'm just going to take the 40 minutes and go into that meditative state and allow my body to do what it does naturally. Because if you think about like our modern life, we're not sleeping well, we're not breathing well, we're not consciously ingesting the medicine that is food and water. And even just like over the week, we're going to be consciously preparing our meals, consciously hearing our body and say, okay, well, if you need salt, you need salt. If you need protein, you need protein. If you need more greens, more alkaline to de-acidify because your stomach has been working over time and there's too much acid in your digestive system. So we're going to balance the alkaline and the pH in our physical bodies over the week by really consciously eating and just paying attention to life. Like, look at this
Yeah.
amazing thing. Do you know, I never knew how a banana grew. This is the most amazing plant you've ever seen, okay? So it comes up and it's got this trunk, and it's like multicolored. It's like a rainbow, and it just shoots up all of a sudden, right? And then the leaves come out, and they're these beautiful, big, floppy leaves. They look like, have you ever seen that dog that has those big ears? The leaves of the banana look like that dog, that hound dog with the big ears, right? And it's flopping all over the place. And then all of a sudden, this big red egg. It looks like an egg. It looks like a giant red egg, like a giant red Easter egg. And it bursts out, and then it opens, and these little tiny little flowers come out. That's the flower. And you know, in the Bible it says the fruit is the flower. Well, it's true. It's true. And look, this banana and the sweetness of it. I mean, what? Wow, right? Thank you. And that's what we're doing for a week. Like, we're just getting conscious of how we are behaving so that we can consciously choose what is to our advantage, what creates health for me, what creates joy for me, what do I love to express, what do I love to do? Because the
Yeah.
world needs us all. The world needs us all right now.
Do you have some method how to recognize or how to communicate with your body if the body needs more protein or something else? Because I have my intuitive method how to ask my body. Do you
How do you
use
do it? How do
something?
you do it? Tell us.
I just like take some like food or something, and I put my hand on my stomach and close my eyes, and I just ask, is this like what is this good for you? Like, I'm asking my body, and I'm using, instead of pendulum, I'm use all my body. Like, if it's like to the food, it's yes, and it's sometimes it's like no, so, or I can choose from two of like different foods, and I close my eyes, and then I wait where my body will, go one direction or another one. So this is my method. What are you using?
That's so amazing. Okay, so talk about synchronicity, right, Slavomira? Like, when I met you last week and you told me the work that you do with people, how you coach them to become more aware of the energy of everything, because life is in everything, right? And so that's so fascinating, because day one, before we start the 7-day quote unquote cleanse or detox or heightened awareness, however you want to call it, consciously, intentionally creating, however, just for 7 days, a 7-day focus, right? A 7-day spa treat. That's exactly what we're going to. So Daniela Smith is going to teach us how to muscle test, how to hear your body, how to use the body. And that comes from this amazing author, Dr. David Hawkins. So he conducted these experiments, and basically many chiropractors and many acupuncturists are, so basically it's called telekinesis, right? It's using the body to, it's to hear what's a yes, what's a no. Now, here's something I want people to be aware of. If you have overblown flora, and this I learned from Caroline Sutherland, a Hay House author who wrote a book called The Body Knows. If you have overgrown flora, which is a bacteria that is created from too much starch, too much sugar, you could be actually hearing the sugar. The sugar is calling for more sugar. So it's not actually the wholeness of the body. That's I suppose. Thank you for leading me to that. That's I suppose what we're getting at over the 7 days, and that's all it's going to take. It's guaranteed. I have seen just phenomenal results where people have said, "Oh, it's that simple to love myself. It's that simple to hear the messages of my body. It's that simple to open up and just like really reclaim my wholeness. Reclaim it. That's the power to choose. And then, then you're not fooled by, the Barnum and Bailey circus who says a fool and his money is quickly departed. We're not being fools, right? We're still behaving like this in our true nature, right? Like a child. That's our true nature. If we look at children, like you said, their creative power, their creative wonder, their sense of play. I mean, you look at any of the nature videos and you watch how in the families where in the nature families, in the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom and you see it's play. That's how we learn. That's how the exchange of knowledge, because it's not just, okay, here's a banana, eat it. It's like, wow, look at this banana.
Let's try. How does it taste?
What does my body say? Yeah, I want some potassium. Yeah, I'd like some sweet.
Yeah.
Right?
And also when we are talking about children, look how much energy they have. They are just like, wow. And so
That's it. And it's infinite. That energy is infinite because that's our true nature, right? This life. And I'm super excited that this Good Body Revival, like for some people, the timing is just off. It's off because many people are practicing what they're practicing. I mean, it's the holy months of Ramadan for those in the Muslim faith, and it's Easter weekend for those in the Catholic and Christian faith. So I understand that there may be, it may not be good timing for many, but it's something that I repeat 4 times a year. So I do it at the beginning of the year, basically so the winter solstice, right, is that change of season, right? It's a transition point. And if we're disconnected from the transition, we sometimes make choices that aren't in alignment with the flow of the energy of life itself. So I do it then I do it again for this equinox period, right? The spring and fall equinox, depending on your hemisphere. Then I do it again in the summer solstice, and then I do it again for the fall spring equinox. So it's 4 times a year. If you can't come now, right, you'll come in June, right? And you can sign up for all of them at once. And it's really, I mean, it's less than the cost of a half-hour massage for the whole 7 days.
Yeah.
And we're going to unwind our nervous system. We're going to just settle, give yourself a week of pampering, a week of, okay, what do I need? I want to rebalance. And once you've done it once, you start to get the hang of it. Oh, I'm out of balance right now. I'm not actually aware of what I'm saying or what I'm hearing. Oh, let me just course correct. And it becomes that quick, and then you get back into the flow of your play. Because we're all creative beings, and right?
Yeah. And sometimes I can observe like people are so used to be tired, so they don't have even like some point, like they've never experienced how does that feel if you are full of energy, if you are so this could be like very good like way how to just experience how does that feel if your body is clear, you are in balance, you feel full of energy. So it will be easier later to see like, oh, I don't feel good. I can remember how does that how did that feel
How does it
before,
feel?
and so I can change something. Because if someone is constantly just tired and watching Netflix and eating, some junk food, and it's like kind of normal, so it's difficult to make a change, because you don't know that there is possible something, like there is something more, there is something so much better. No.
Well, and that's, to me, what you described is love. That's what you described to me. That's what you described to me, Slavomir. And from the first moment I met you, that's what you embody to me. It's like that's what you emanate. You emanate this energy of love. And what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. And it's like, right, it isn't normal to feel depressed. Yes, it isn't normal to feel depressed as your operating system. Yes, grief is real. Yes, we have to allow ourselves to experience those human emotions because it's true. And it's not our operating system, is what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's not our operating system to be in constant fear.
Yeah.
It's not our operating system to feel powerless. That's, to me, is not truth. It's like, let's, you know, if not me, someone else, but there, like this good body revival, I feel it's only 7 days.
And I also like that you follow the year cycle, because I'm doing the same. The different seasons are like good for a different kind of, I don't know, behavior or something. Winter is for just wintering and go deep within. But then when the seasons are changing, so it's really good time to just do this clearing or something to prepare for the change of the energy. So I like that you are doing that in these times of
Right. I mean,
change.
there's
Yeah.
a there's a Native American proverb that says, in spring the earth is pregnant, walk
Yeah.
gently, right? Walk gently. Like let's revive our natural intelligences, like really reclaim how you learn. Reclaim how you learn. Reclaim that power of choice to be present to your life and 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 expand it to learn something new. Go, oh, what if I tried it this way? Instead of being in that sad and sorrowful place of, oh, I'm a failure. I don't read very well. I don't write very well. I'm no good at math. I don't know how to make money. I don't know how to fix my window when it's broken. I don't know how to do things that other people do. So therefore, like you just give up. No, no, you do know. You just haven't woken up or activated that part of you that does it your way. You remember that Frank Sinatra song? I did it my way. Well, like, know
Yeah.
what your way is. Know it. You know,
Yeah.
don't be trapped in this box of trying to fit into somebody else's definition of who you are. Allow yourself a little bit of time to redefine and know who you are and go, well, wait a minute, I can see my life really well. Well, I know how to do a lot of things really well.
Yeah, so maybe we could like move on this like revival. We were talking about how we can communicate with our body and get the food that our body needs, and just check in with our body, like if it's yes or no, or just
That's right. Just for
yeah. And what's
seven
the
days.
next step? What's the next
Just for
step?
seven, right? Just for 7 days. Okay, so the next step, and I believe this is this is what I'm really choosing to create, is this community of creators, of learners, of proactive human beings who are participating in their own lives and in the greater social structures. So the people who I've invited, which includes you, Slavomira, because your coaching programs and your way of igniting how to become aware of the energy outside of you. So okay, this 7 days is to become aware of the energy inside of you and to unlock all those places where you're holding repressed, suppressed, hurtful trauma, pain, stagnant energy, stagnant air, like just so that you can feel your body and feel healthy. Now, if you have some conditions that have formed, remember, nothing is set in stone. Everything begins energetically. So if you've got a condition, so say you're pre-diabetic because you've been eating certain foods that your body can't process and you've developed too much sugar, so your insulin in your liver can't function the way it's supposed to, the way it's designed, right? This beautiful design naturally. Then there's Larry Porter. Larry Porter is the most amazing intuitive healer I have ever met. What he's going to be part of this week. So if you've developed some kind of condition, medical condition, he works with doctors, neurologists, oncologists, behavioral therapists, mental health. I mean, this man is amazing. And he's going to be part of this program. So if you have a condition that you have not been able to overcome, or you just need a little more support with the doctors, the medical community that you're working with, there's Larry. If you're just beginning to, like, you're a younger person and you're just beginning to see, wait a minute, I'm looking at my life and I don't see any hope. I don't see any way I can make enough money, or even I can't even own a home. I can barely make enough rent. I'm working 3 jobs. And then there's Daniela Smith. This girl, she's not a girl, but I mean, she's like old. She's young enough to be my granddaughter, right? Like, this is there's Daniela for the younger generation who's like, what does this mean, conscious creation? How do I do this? How do I stand in my power? How do I do this? Like, I can really make money just being me? Really? Yeah, you can. And then there's you, Slavomira, right? And there's Dee Wallace, who she has multiple webinars she does every month. And then she also has a free radio show on Sundays where you can call in. And she just, she helps you open up your channel. Like, open up your channel. You are a transceiver of the intelligence of the universe. Open it up. Find out who you really are and play in those fields of all thought and all possibility. Then there's Emma Unsworth. Oh my goodness. This is a woman who works with governments and huge multinational corporations to get them to align that whole body, because an organization, an institution, a government, that's a body too. It has to function. The systems and the structures have to know and hear each other. So there's Emma Unsworth. If you're a bigger corporation or you're part of a big organization and you want to work with Emma. So in this particular Good Body Revival that starts March 28th and goes through April 4th, it's a commitment of 1 hour a day, people. When I was telling, parents who would say, my kids we don't have any time to do anything. I cannot read with my child. And I would go through and I'd say, okay, how much time do you need to sleep? Well, you've got to get some rest. So your body needs about 8 hours, right? How much time do you need to prepare your food? How much time do you need to get to work? How much time do you need to work? How much time is left? And they'd all come up with at least 4 hours left in that 24-hour period. And I said, you can't give 15 minutes to sit with your kid and read? And it would make all the difference. By the way, when you hear yourself reading out loud, your soul is like going, oh, this is fun. Thank you. You're calm. You're safe. Okay, brain, you can just get in with your heart. You can tune up. Everything's good. We're copacetic. Let's just move. And that
Yeah,
time is so precious, you know? That time is so precious. So 1 hour a day for 7 days. If this week isn't the good one, come join us for the Good Body Revival in the summer solstice or winter solstice if you're in your southern hemisphere. Come join us in the fall spring equinox in September. I'm doing it 4 times a year, and this is all I'm going to do because I'm busy. My husband and I are making documentaries, films with people. We're doing Talk Story here in Hawaii, and that's my passion. But this is important to me. This is really important to me because I feel like what I've learned, I really want to share. And it feels important to me, you know, like they call me Tutu here. That means grandma. Like this is important to me to share. It's simple, it's easy. It's only $111 and you do it once, you only come back, it's only $33 for 7 days, 7 hours, and you get to keep all the recordings. So you can do it on your own. So I'd love for whoever feels called, please come. You can email me, Lee Collver at Proton. I'm sorry, Lee Collver. It's Lee. Well, you see it right there. Look, it's
I
spelled
will
right
put that.
there.
Yeah, I will put it in
Lee Collver at
description.
pm.me. And it's on
Yeah.
Eventbrite. Let me put it in the chat so they can
No,
actually
don't
sign up.
worry. I will put that in
You put
description
it?
of
Okay.
the
All
video.
right.
Don't
Cool.
worry. So
Do we
anyone
have any
who is
more time left? I
interested.
mean, I feel like I've been talking forever and I haven't. I really want to get your.
It's so fun. It's so joyful to talk with you because you have this energy. So you are like living like promotion or proof of that this works because you have so much energy.
Listen, come join me for kindergarten for grown-ups. You'll have fun. That much I guarantee.
Yeah, I totally believe you. So we are inviting everyone who is interested to just revive your body and learn how to create your life intentionally, how to have more energy, how to understand better, like how to unlearn this, this suppressing in a small box and just become aware of who you really are. Is that correct?
It's
Yeah.
perfect.
It's
Become aware
okay.
of who you really are and learn to enjoy how you how you how you are. Like learn to really and just see yourself that way in the world, you know, to see yourself as someone who matters, as someone who is important, and you are important. Because think about how many relationships we all have and how many of us it takes to make this book, to make this glass of water possible, to make this exchange possible. How many of us, like, look how many people we are communing with.
Yeah.
Our lives matter and your life matters. And I just want to see you shine and grow, like, because the world needs you. The world needs more people creating intentionally from that joyful place
Yes.
of of natural wonder, because we've got work to do. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. This was like beautiful, like completing of our conversation. And thank you for coming, and thank you all for watching. and see you next time by the next episode. Bye.
Bye.